all applications developed with GeneXus can be integrated with other applications through various mechanisms. A particularly important one makes integration possible with an SAP ERP system. We know that SAP is open to external developments, allowing for interaction with its business objects through BAPIs, business APIs, defined and maintained in the SAP Business Object Repository, or BOR. These BAPIs are implemented as ABAP functions, allowing for remote access. That is to say, from outside the SAP ERP, through the RFC Remote Function Call Protocol defined by SAP. In this context, GeneXus has developed the GeneXus ERP connector that allows accessing the SAP server with the corresponding credentials. In addition, it allows obtaining, through RFC calls, the entire BOR metadata with all the existing BAPIs and Z functions for remote access that may have been defined by a client in a certain SAP instance. Next, the GeneXus developer selects from there the BAPIs required for the part of the application he's developing. These BAPIs are imported into GeneXus and exposed as external GeneXus objects. They will encapsulate the business object logic and its methods in order to use them from GeneXus. For example, suppose that in the mobile application we want to add screens to work with data about the clients of an SAP ERP. They should not only allow us to query the data, but also update existing data and even enter new clients. All the screens that implement the interface and features of this Work With component will be developed with GeneXus as any other smart device application. The difference here is that this data will not be saved in the application's database. Instead, it'll have to be retrieved from the SAP ERP. This will be done by invoking the methods imported from the BOR in the external objects, which will be internally translated into RFC calls to the corresponding BAPIs. That is to say, to implement the Work With clients component, the developer will do the same as the Work With for smart devices pattern that we've studied before. He will create the equivalent list and detail screens, but will use variables instead of attributes because the data will not be stored in database attributes. For this reason, it'll have to be retrieved from the ERP. So, these variables will be loaded by invoking the method of the corresponding external object. For example, for the customers list, the method will be getList. When the application is generated, this invocation is translated into the RFC call to the corresponding SAP ERP BAPI. In this example, the BAPI is customer with its getList method. This BAPI effectively implements and runs the access to the ERP database, returning the list of clients that is later displayed on the device screen. The question that arises is this: how do we import those BAPIs into GeneXus in order to use their methods? By selecting Application Integration, SAP BAPI Import. After doing this and entering the details of the SAP ERP we want to connect to, an Explorer will be opened with the BAPIs and their methods. From there, we select the BAPIs and methods we're interested in. Lastly, they will be imported as external GeneXus objects. For a detailed example of all this, refer to the course GeneXus ERP Connector for SAP, My First App.